One thing I think isn't talked about enough is that I actually think it's very difficult to be a UK MMA fight fan. Bro, like every single card is on at like 4 or 5 a.m. unless it's in like Abu Dhabi. Unless you want to stay all the way up, again up at 5, it's like you're having to wake up first thing in the morning, like shield your eyes from social media, try and find the fights and rewatch the fights back. I would just love to be able to watch the fights at like 9 or 10 p.m. The second issue I've got, Liam, with watching fights in the UK is like, where do you actually buy them? I swear, like, it changes like every month. It's like, oh, it's over here, it's over that, or it's not available. And it's like, it's just so confusing. You go to MMA subreddit just to find out what's going on at the moment.
100%. And I'll be the first person to admit that staying up till 6 a.m. to watch a fight, like, bro, those days are over, man.
You
I gotta be up and train. I gotta look after guys. It's just like, it is tough, man. So I am, like you say, shielding my eyes from social media. And the other thing that absolutely grinds my gears with trying to watch MMA, man, is that often, if you're looking for, say, PFL and it's on DAZN or One Championships on Amazon, like, you know for a fact that your hard-earned money is subsidizing everything else on that platform. So if you're an MMA fan, you are paying for boxing.
You are. I mean, I tried to watch the Logan Paul fight versus Dylan Dennis, mate. The amount of apps and subscriptions I had to go through, I was like, where it's over here, it's over there. It was just ridiculous. And I was like, never, ever have I even said the word zone, let alone thought about it, since I actually watched that fight. And then deleted it, like, immediately afterwards. It's like, I just want the fights to be available. Like, why is that so difficult? Why can't it be included in UFC Fight Pass? I hate the pay-per-view model. I just think it's so antiquated. Especially for, like, UK, we don't really have a pay-per-view culture. In America, they do. Maybe it's different if you're looking for a different country. But, like, as a fan, like, dude, sack the PPV model, increase my Fight Pass subscription, and just make it available for me to watch, like, and just make it easy for me to consume the content.
I think you're so right. I mean, at this point, it seems almost like there's a proactive incentive to either illegally stream, to get a VPN and decide that you're in a country that makes it easy. You know what I mean? Like, if you decide that you're going to pick a developing country, then you're going to be able to find an easier access point. You didn't hear that from me. Yeah. But it's just like, I personally, like I said, I don't actually stream the fight. I don't do anything like that. I have Fight Pass. I'm not even kidding. Like, most of the time now, even being so close to MMA, I will actively check and see if these fights are even worth watching in the first place. And if not, if they're not worth watching, bro, I will wait a week and I'll watch them on UFC Fight Pass.
And bear in mind, that's coming from somebody that runs an MMA gym.
I couldn't be deeper in this
Dude, literally, like, Liam's so deep that he's past the line, man. Like, because Liam's got a MMA fight promotion, you run a gym, you train amateur and pro fighters, you train literally all the time. And this guy is saying, dude, it is just difficult to actually watch what's going on.
Absolutely. Like, I am the target audience.
Dude, this could guy, not be like, dude, you're on a photo in a UFC boardroom saying that is our target audience. Like,
100%. How can we screw Liam in the UK for watching fights? You know.
So I guess what I'm saying is, UFC, here's how to get more money out of me: increase the price of my UFC Fight Pass and make the fights accessible the morning after. And if you want to regionalize it, that's fine. Do some VPN checks, that's cool as well. I'm sure it's infinitely more complicated than what we're saying. But, like, it's just, I guess I'm looking for it to be easier to actually watch fights.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, maybe it's just the fact that there must be a reasoning behind this, right? We are not sat in the UFC boardroom going like, okay, right, like, let's screw England over, you know? Like, of course not, you know? But I think you know, the UFC cares about this market. It comes here frequently. It wants English champions. And perhaps Tom Aspinall, Leon Edwards, and the current crop that we've got coming from the UK is going to make that a little bit different. We're seeing fights happen here. We're seeing Bellator and PFL invest super heavily in Ireland and Dublin. We're seeing Octagon and other shows like Cage Warriors do incredible things in the UK. The UK is an absolute hotbed of MMA and some of the biggest prospects in the world. I mean, so even like the future stars, like, you know, you've seen a big, massive deal happen with Barstool Sports with Paddy and Molly. You know, these are people that people want to see. They want to pay money for these guys.
They do, man. If you pound for pound, the UK is delivering in combat sports. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Tom Aspinall, the Meatball McCann, and Pat, you know, they're coming out of the UK talent pool, man, I guess. But if I'm UFC, I'm looking at my income and I'm saying, look, like, let me just look at market size, right? Population of 300 million plus in the US.
Oh, you have to deal with them first.
And it's like,
no doubt.
You do, and it's funny, right? Because, like, I guess, like, maybe UK represents, I don't know, probably percentiles of their total revenue, right? 7%. I'd love to know the actual number and how close I'm off on that, but it's like we service our 80% core audience, hence why the pay-per-views are on so late. But I do love it when we get those Abu Dhabi cards. It's like, oh, dude, it's on like 9 o'clock. It's like, oh, let's enjoy it. That's dope. That's so sick.
Yeah, even an actual realistic, decent tape delay would be something interesting, man. Do you know what I mean? Even if there was a way of saying, like, okay, the card is on at 6 a.m., but we're going to have like a rerun pay-per-view that's like a third of the price or something on top of your subscription that's going to happen at 10 a.m. the next morning.
I guess the problem with UFC is...
That's a bad idea, but I'm trying to think of something.
It's the same way like why bakeries don't discount all their items to 20% of the value at the end of the day, because people who otherwise would have paid 100% of it just wait till 5 p.m. And I guess UFC's problem statement sounds something like, if we make it available at discounted rate the next day, then no one will buy the pay-per-view and that sales go down. Although, to be honest with you, I feel like there are certain customer segments that you could identify that actually no, like you're getting no revenue from them. And I think if you just said that to the UK, like, dude, you can watch it. Because the thing is, it needs to be available by 12 o'clock the next day. Because to expect people to stay off social media past midday is unreasonable in most cases. So that would be the way. Trial it. I mean, maybe they've done trials, but trial it and see how they can get on with it, I think.
Tell you what I think would be an incredibly interesting model would be like an inverse Netflix model where what you could do is, instead of it being just a pay-per-view price, maybe it's like double or beyond the pay-per-view price, and you just didn't have to sit through the ads and the commentary sections and all the rest of it. Like, bro, I would pay double for a pay-per-view where I didn't have to spend like 6 hours for something. For something that's like 2.5 hours of fights, bro. You know, of course, you can't just go fight. I get it, and obviously what they're doing is optimal in terms of advertising, content, and all the rest. But I mean, it's still bonkers to me in the American market that you can have a pay-per-view that's filled with ads. Like, I just paid for ads. Like, what is going on?
You are paying to be advertised to, definitely. I have to go on a big rant on this because this drove me absolutely insane. In Garner vs. Fury, were you watching that live? Because,
I wasn't watching it live.
Oh my gosh, the number of ads and filler. It was like, right, they're getting ready, they're going to walk out to the octagon, outside to the boxing ring, and then it was either, okay, great, like an hour later, they're still warming up, and then these poor guys behind the desk are having to say, yeah, the thing about Tyson Fury's lineage is, and like they exhausted every single human topic ever. Like, that is the biggest amount of filler I've ever seen. And honestly, the comments, dude, I was like, we've been watching this nonsense now for 2 hours. Like, they need a project manager who's had 2 Red Bulls and just wants to make things happen. So you get out into that ring. Why is it taking 2 hours? This is unacceptable. It drove me nuts. As you can tell, like, I don't know.
I think it drives everybody nuts, and to my understanding as well, like, so the PFL shows that I've watched are literally unwatchable just because of the time in between fights. Something that I really love about Bellator, when Bellator were like an independent company, is fight, right up until you're gonna have to then switch to like the main card or something like that. And Bellator, if anything, they put enough fights on there that, you know, I'd actually seen 2 occasions where a fight that was supposed to be on the undercard ended up being a dark fight after the main card because they just stacked the deck like that. And then sometimes, of course, you're going to get finish, and that means that you've got a little bit of a break. But one break, fine. I can deal with one break if it's as a result of many finishes in a row running the card down a little bit quicker. Do you know what I mean? But fight, giant break, advertisement, conversation about what's going on in the world, fight, advertisement, conversation about, I don't know, what's going on with the next fight card, fight, advertisement for some tires. You know, I'm just, bro, just get them in the cage and let them punch each other in the face. Let's go.
This interlude is sponsored by P3, the protein snack for the UFC. Like,
oh my God, you know what I mean?